Thank you, Mr. President. You know, I hate to beat a dead horse, but I think that it's important when fundamental facts are misrepresented that the record be made clear. And we heard within hours of our debate on Friday on the amended version of House Bill 757 about an executive with a company called 373K moving from Georgia to Nevada. But that's all we heard. We didn't hear about the fact that this global telecom company, which has 20 employees, 5 of whom are in Georgia, is a vendor for the Democratic National Committee, and that this was essentially a calculated partisan ploy to try to feed into a narrative being pushed by opponents of religious freedom legislation. But wait, there's more. Over the last few days, it has come to light what this gentleman, Kelvin Williams, has had to say about people of faith. And I was actually going to have some of those things distributed to your desks, but the determination was made that the language was so offensive that it's not something that should be distributed. And I actually, upon further reflection, agree with that decision. I do want to share with you in general terms what this gentleman has had to say. Upon the death of Justice Antonin Scalia, he wished for his eternal condemnation. That's the nicest way I can put it. He made cracks about the justice's weight with respect to his funerary arrangements. He essentially said to any person of faith who believes that their faith is worth dying for, and I would remind this Senate that we're in a time around the world where people are dying for their faith on a regular basis, where people are being martyred for their beliefs. He actually put something out on social media wishing for the deaths of anyone who holds sincere religious beliefs. He's put out racially offensive language that I will not repeat from the well of this Senate. He has put out statements about Catholic priests that I will not repeat from the well of this Senate. But this gentleman is an anti-religious bigot. And if it prompted him to make the decision to move from Georgia to Nevada, where, by the way, they have under consideration religious freedom legislation in their state legislature, all I can say is I'd be delighted to help him pack. 373K also has business operations in Indonesia. Now, perhaps it's news to Mr. Williams, but in Indonesia, not only is there no non-discrimination language to protect folks in the LGBT community, it is punishable by up to 100 strokes of the cane in Indonesia. But his company is investing dollars there, they're spending money there. So this rank hypocrisy, this cheap political trick, ought to be called out by people other than those from this well. And I would hope that those who have been misled, including members of this Senate who came to this well and defended this gentleman, will clear the record and make it perfectly clear that we do not accept this kind of behavior or this kind of conduct. And I certainly hope the media organizations who continue as recently as today to continue to cite this gentleman as an example of people leaving this state over how free our people are will correct the record. Thank you, Mr. President.